Welcome to the Thrive with Omu podcast, where each week I'll chat with an amazing entrepreneur on their growth journey. They'll be sharing this with us to help and encourage us to take that bold step. Hey everyone, it's such a pleasure to be back here to my podcast after so long. And for the first episode, who do I have here? No one else but Raimonda Jan. She's such a delight to chat with. She's a visibility mentor. She owns a media company called Women Thrive Media. It also has a magazine. And she's also a summit organizer and very passionate about women empowerment. Thank you so much, Raimonda, for accepting to be on my first show. It's such a huge honor.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me. When I received your message, like, wow, that's so brilliant to be on your first episode. So let's set the tone for the rest of your podcast listeners.
Exactly. So could you tell us a little about yourself?
Yeah, well, it's great to be here, first of all. Thanks for this opportunity. And I love doing speaking. And I've always been very much about inspiring other people with my journey. My tagline is believe, achieve, inspire. And as entrepreneurs, I believe that we need to first believe in ourselves, then achieve what we set out, and to inspire. So a little bit about my journey. Originally, I'm from Lithuania. I moved to the UK when I was young. I was a young immigrant, and I really didn't know how my life would turn out. I didn't speak the language, and I couldn't find school the first few years living in the UK. And I really thought that was it for me. I would start work, and I did start work at a very young age. But very fortunately, I did actually went on to finish school and university. And I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 21. I've been very passionate about, as a woman, following my own dreams and passions and building something bigger than just myself. So in the last few years, 5-6 years, I've been hosting events for women called Women in Business. I created a global platform for female entrepreneurs and business owners. And in the last few years, we had to turn our live events into virtual events. And this is how Women Thrive was born, which is through adversity. So how can we continue to survive and thrive during the difficult times of pandemic? So I instated a global events platform, as well as now is a magazine to really spotlight the voices of women on their journey.
Awesome. Talking about women on their journey, I like to talk about different journeys, just pointing out that we all have our different journeys, and on this journey, we all experience different obstacles, and some people are not able to handle it properly. Others are able to handle it properly and use it as a positive, would I say, effect, other than letting it drown them or drag them back. Obviously, you must have fought your battles to have gotten to this point. Would you like to share with us some of those battles and how you got to this point, really?
Yeah, of course. And we all go through difficult times in our lives. And as I say, some of those things make us, and some of those things break us. And it's in a moment of despair that our faith is really tested, when our ground is shaken. And that's when we have to really step up to the plate. So that's how Women Thrive was born, in a moment of adversity. But in my own adversity, I didn't know why I was placed onto this path to empower other women and support them with raising their own voices. Until pretty recently, a few years ago, I was being mentored by Mr. Les Brown, and Mr. Les Brown asked me, Well, Raimonda, you've joined this amazing speakers community. Why do you want to be a speaker? What drives you to be a speaker? And in that moment, something came back to me, a moment in my life that it was so traumatic that I wanted to forget this moment in my life. And I actually went so far away from it that I thought I would never have to share this story again, because I was so ashamed of it. I was so broken. I didn't know who I was during those moments in my life. So in my mid-20s, I experienced traumatic experience where I was in a relationship that's really toxic. And at the end, it was a pretty difficult situation, almost abusive. And this whole relationship left me so scarred that I didn't have my voice. I actually literally lost my voice for 2 years. I lost my identity. I lost my confidence. My business wasn't going so well. And for 2 years, I would just be quiet and stay at home and try to get out of it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know why I was experiencing it. But every day I would look in a mirror and say, Ray, please just speak. I'm begging you, just speak. You have to speak, because I know how important it is to step into your light and start to build your business. But this trauma nearly destroyed me. I got into, not loving myself and really going through this difficult time and not knowing how to get out of it. I did somehow manage to slowly rebuild myself back, but I tried to hide this part of my story because it was shameful. To me, it was shameful. My family didn't know I went through it. They knew something was wrong, but they didn't know what it was and how I really felt, because I wasn't speaking. And only so many years later, I think it was 7 years later, that I started to share the story. And when I did, I realized that I wasn't alone. I realized that there were other women who suffered trauma, who suffered difficult times in their lives, who lost their voices, and how important it is for us to do this type of work, empowerment work, to give them the stage and opportunity and safe and nurturing space for them to share their message and their voice. And that for me was the moment when I found my purpose. Why do I do what I do today? So far, I tried to run away from this difficult time in my life, when actually it was my purpose. And it just took someone to ask me, why do you speak? And that's when I realized that I want to speak because I know what it's like to lose your voice.
Wow. Wow. I honestly can relate. But you said something about losing your confidence. Now, I only just met you not too long ago, and there's absolutely nothing that indicates that you have ever lacked confidence or lacked confidence. But then again, sometimes you're not able to tell just by talking to someone. But how did you walk yourself back to where you are now from all that trauma and losing your voice, losing your confidence? How did you turn around and get to this point?
I wish I could tell you it was easy. I wish I could tell you it was just one thing. But honestly, confidence is one of those things that it's an up and down journey. And it's just everyday actions, showing up every day, pushing your own boundaries and limits, proving over and over to yourself that you can. And just because you're confident today doesn't mean you're going to be confident tomorrow. And there's going to be times when your confidence will be knocked down and you will be tested. Your faith will be tested, but you just got to take those little steps forward. And with every step, it's like we get so overwhelmed and we get twisted in our own head thinking, oh, can I do it? Right? This feels scary. And we doubt ourselves. But the truth is, we're capable of more than we know. And the trick is just to do it. Because once you start doing it, you forget that you're feeling not confident because you're already doing it. So the magic is in the doing and not overthinking.
Absolutely. So you said two things that have actually struck me. And you know how you say things to yourself, you know that's what you should do, but sometimes you don't do it. And one is showing up. I say to my clients, just show up, make sure you show up, just show up. But I also know that it's not very easy, because even sometimes for me, it's difficult to just show up when you feel really down. And then you also said something about overthinking. A lot of us are guilty of that, just do it. Just do it, and then see what happens. But a lot of us would go into analysis paralysis and all that. So you've done excellently well. I'm actually so proud of you. So how many summits have you done so far?
So we started officially, we've done one before, quite early. We've done one in 2018, but officially we started in 2020 when we couldn't host live events anymore. And yeah, it was just in a moment of, we had a first international event booked in Atlanta, and I usually live in London. And this was a remote event. I was planning an event in Atlanta just at the end of 2019. And as we're getting closer to the event, the situation was just getting out of hand, more and more out of hand. And it was 2 weeks prior to this Atlanta event that I realized that it's not going to happen. So we had a venue booked for 250 people. That was our first international event. We had 8 speakers, some flying from different parts of the States. And a few weeks before, I had to cancel this event because I realized that it's not going to happen. And that's when we made that transition from live events to virtual events. And I put out a call to turn it around. And the first year we had over 2,000 people attend. And we had 30 speakers in the first event. So this year in 2023 is going to be our 4th official event for Women Thrive Summit.
Awesome. I also know that you do retreats. Do you do retreats or something like that?
Well, we're trying to come back to it, yes. I'm off to Ibiza actually tomorrow now for our first retreat since the pandemic, since everything is sort of settled back to normal. But our virtual events is really what I'm passionate about, because I get to, one, touch people all around the world, and also host speakers from all around the world. And the goal is really to empower. Whilst the retreats are beautiful and they're luxury and we get to be in an intimate environment, the Women Thrive is really about that women empowerment, coming together and highlighting diverse voices. I'm all about diversity, of having people represent different parts of the world, different experiences, different modalities, and step into their light to share their message in a powerful way. So we actually take 6 months to produce this event. This year we have nearly 50 speakers coming onto our stage in 2023. And we're looking to attract 10,000 attendees for this event. So it's a huge production.
Awesome. That's a huge production. Huge. And it's all virtual, or is it hybrid?
It is all virtual.
Okay.
All virtual and live. It's all live. 3rd week in March, and it happens live. There is no pre-recorded elements, so people can engage with the speakers and other audience and really grow through this journey.
So tell me something. After you went through your trauma and you came out of it strong and you started working with women, like you said, you found out that it was a common, well, maybe not common, but you weren't the only one that had gone through it. Quite a number. You met a lot of people who had gone through it. How have you been able to help them get out of it? And when you're helping them, is there a way? Because sometimes I find that when I'm helping people in a certain area, and it's something that I have been through or I'm going through, I find out I'm helping myself in the process. I don't know if that happens to you, and I want to know if that happened to you and the effect of training, of working with them, and what is the most common cause of this? Because I keep meeting women who are just sad and not living their best life.
Yeah. A lot of it comes down to actually trauma. It could be childhood trauma, people told that we are insignificant, and it comes from different reasons, either the family dynamics and someone being too overpowering or bully. Women lost voices due to bullying at work, family in their cultural environment being suppressed. So I think, especially for women, our voices are so much more deeply connected to our emotions. And when those emotions are suppressed or really shut down, our voices suffer. Because through generations, we've been told to be small, to be good girls, to be quiet. You're a good girl when you're quiet, right? So there is a lot of generational impact, cultural impact, as well as trauma. Some people don't know what it feels like to lose your voice or not have it because they never experienced it, right? And that's what I'm learning so much through their experiences, because before I got to share my story about this, I didn't know there were other people who are suffering from this and why. So I'm learning why, the causes of why they're suffering or suffer the same experiences as me. And I get to relate to them on a deeper level. How we're trying to help them is, well, through our summit, we do a selection process for speakers. And I take this process really personal, to interview people and really understand them. But once they become speakers, to create what people need when they lost their voice or been through trauma is a safe and nurturing environment to be able to speak. Because it can feel scary, vulnerable, and even visibility is connected to the same thing. Being visible, showing up, because it can be connected to so many parts of trauma, childhood trauma, fear, insecurities, and things like that. So we deal with this on a daily basis. We talk about this on a weekly basis with our speakers. But there's one thing that I'm committed to through our platform is to create 30% of our speaker spots for first-time speakers. Because for me, it's important that we give opportunity for people who are not professional speakers to share their story, to share their message, because everybody has a story. But there's not enough opportunities for us to share our message and our story. And we have to create that. Because if not us, then who's going to do it? So I don't want to be part of the problem of only spotlighting women who have already got experience. I want to be part of the solution who brings other people up and shows them that it's possible. You can stand alongside these amazing coaches and experts and speakers. Even if you are a first-time speaker, there is space for you to do that. So that's what we do through our platform. Sorry. So yeah,
that's so good. That is so commendable, because I also find that when you're applying for as a speaker in certain events, they ask you for a recording or a video or a clip of somewhere you've spoken before. And the question is, if you all want somewhere I've spoken before, where am I going to speak? Because you're expecting people that have spoken before. If everyone is expecting people that have spoken before, then where does the first timer speak? So it's really, really, really commendable. And I like that your speakers are women. Are they all women, or are they all strictly women, or
Yeah,
men?
it's not exclusive to just women speakers. We do have women come through our platform. But just because our audience are mainly women, we tend to 99% attract mainly women.
So if I said to you on a scale of 1 to 10, would you say you're living your best life?
So interesting. I don't even know where to put that number. Oh, it's on a daily basis. You have the power to make a great life every day because it's a matter of perspective. I recently wrote a post about what do we define as success? And there's so many people that say you should be earning 10 figure, whatever, 7 figures, 6 figures, or 10,000 pounds a month or whatever. This is their definition of success, but we've been sold the dream that somehow when you get to that magical number, you're going to be happy. The true test is, can you be happy whilst you don't have it, whilst you're in the process? Because, and even when we take on speakers, I tell our speakers, you think it's about the final destination. You think it's just about speaking on the summit at the end. So let me tell you, it's not, because it's the journey. Can you actually be in the journey and be happy? Because if we forever chase this goal, you're never going to be happy. You have to learn to be happy on the journey, wherever that is. And although people see me as successful, that's their definition of success because that's what they aspire to be. My goals are further ahead now. So I have to be happy where I am and appreciate it because on a daily basis, I still have challenges. I still sometimes have sad days or days I'm not as motivated. I still have days when, we fail. Within the successful business, we still fail. So you gotta be able to find happiness in the daily things and not chase this vision that I'll be happy when. No, be happy now. Now, for being today, for being here,
So
for opening your eyes.
So it's about being present and enjoying every moment.
Every moment can be magical, every moment. So 10 for every moment.
You've got me thinking now. You've got me thinking now.
And chase the goal. Live every day.
Just live every day. Yeah. I'm trying to learn that. It's been amazing talking to you. What else would you like to say to our listeners?
Yeah. When people meet me, they always say, Ray, you just have this smile. And I just want to say to you that no matter what, just smile. All right? It doesn't cost nothing. It really doesn't. And it doesn't take too much effort. Smile because we can embrace each other like this. When I smile, you smile. That's what we can give to each other every day, everywhere you show up, because wherever you are, right? Doesn't matter what kind of day you had, whatever's been going on in your life, in your world, just show up, be in the moment, and bring your energy, because your energy is what's going to define how people experience you. And if you want people to experience you, just smile and be open to possibilities, be open to opportunities, be open to connections. Because if you come, and me and you, we both have yellow today. I don't know why, but we match, right? So what does yellow represent? Sunshine, warmth, right? So be like a sunshine. When you walk into the room, just radiate this energy, because if you're radiating energy, people will attach themselves to you. Naturally, you will attract. So become a magnet because of the energy you're radiating. When you become a magnet, all these opportunities, all the things that you want will simply come to you, and you won't have to work as hard for it. So just be amazing as you are.
That's so powerful. That's so powerful. I've thoroughly enjoyed having this conversation with you. And trust me, I'm coming back to continue the conversation someday. Thank you so much. And we look forward to the summit. When is it?
So it's always the third week of March. So this, in 2023 is the 20th to 24th of March. And there's free tickets to attend or paid tickets to attend if you want to be more involved. And yeah, everyone is welcome, male or female or non-binary, wherever you are in the world, you're welcome to join,
awesome.
Participate. It is about a holistic approach to business and life. So it doesn't matter where you are, you're probably going to find someone who will inspire you and help you transform your life.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ray. Thank you.
I appreciate this.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Thrive with Omu podcast. This is your host, Omu Obilo.